Do you work well with others? No man is an island. Now, this famous phrase really rings true for the graphic design industry. As a graphic designer, you're not just going to be sitting in front of your computer and expecting to receive work from clients and then sending it out to them once you're finished. Instead, you're going to be a creative professional who's going to be responsible for managing the expectations of a lot of different people. Very often the projects you'll work on involve more than just one person, and you're going to have to learn to communicate with a whole team and to work as a team member. You're not just going to have your clients or the people you do the design for. You're going to very often have a boss or a creative director you'll report to. They will have secretaries who have to keep track of different things. You'll have to communicate with them. You'll have to communicate with printers and distributors. You'll have to get a good understanding of the needs of a lot of people. And so the topics for this week talk about good communication. The number one stress that you're going to have on the job will simply come from dealing with other people. Yeah, you're going to have stress working with your software or with your computer. You're going to get stressed out over creative block or not knowing what to do for a good design. But the one thing that's really going to stick with you is being able to communicate with others and managing the expectations of those you work with. And so I'm glad the book is slowing down and spending 3 chapters on dealing with communicating with clients, communicating with other creative professionals outside of graphic designers, and also communicating with individual graphic designers. Now for this video, I want to give you 3 tips on good communication skills. These are 3 habits that I've gotten into that have saved me lots of stress when dealing with clients and working in my professional career. My first tip is to be a graphic designer who leads your clients through your design process. This simply means keeping everybody in the loop on exactly what you're doing as you work on a design. A common problem I get from people who work with graphic designers is they don't understand what we do. And so they'll start asking questions like, do you really need a month to design a website? Why do you need a week to design a t-shirt? Or what kind of things should I send you to get started? All of this speaks to the fact that they don't understand our process of creating a design and getting it ready for publication or getting it ready to be sent out. So the next time you get started on a project, before you do anything, send out a quick email to whoever you're working with and let them know exactly what you're going to do for them that day. It can be as simple as saying, hey, I'm getting started on your project and I hope to send you a proof by sometime around lunch. That small, simple gesture means a lot to your clients. It shows that you respect them enough to keep them in the loop of your design process. It also acts as a stay against the procrastination that may seep into your work. If you tell somebody that you're going to do something for them that day, then you want to be known as a hard worker. You better get it done for them that day. So my first step, keep people in the loop on what you're doing them and guide your clients through your design process. My second tip is to get everything in writing. So often as a graphic designer, when you're working on projects, big projects or small projects, the people you're working with are going to throw out a lot of details. And these are important details that you need to remember. Well, if they're verbally told to you, there's a good chance that you're going to forget something that's important. Or what's worse, your client may forget to tell you something that's important. And then later on, when you turn in your work, they'll say, well, I thought I told you to do something. But if you have a written record to go back to, this can help solve a lot of your problems. So for me, every time I start a project, this means I get all of the details for the project in writing. And I've learned to ask some common questions like, who should I be contacting? Is there a budget or is there a timeline? Are there any important things that have to go into that project? Now, as I'm working on the project and I'm keeping people in the loop on my design process, every time they ask for a change, I write down that change and then I send them an updated proof. Along with that proof, I list out any changes that I've made. This way, I've got an email record of exactly what went into the project and how it evolved as I worked on it. This also helps out if you ever have conflict between multiple members of a project. You may have one person to tell you to do one thing and then another person to tell you to do something totally different. Well, it's not really your job to figure out what you should do from one or the other. Instead, write down the details and communicate with both of them. Maybe there's some common ground that you can both find. But what you don't want to do is to do two different things for two different people. You want to have all of your team members on the same page. And so getting everything in writing is just a great way of backing up your communication and getting an understanding of the kind of work that you do. My third and final tip is to establish boundaries about when and how people can communicate with you. You don't want to be on the job 24/7. You want to be able to walk away from your computer and be able to spend some personal time with your family, time doing things that you enjoy that don't involve your coworkers or any of your clients. So let these people know when it's okay to contact you. Let them know your business hours, but also let them know how they can best contact you. Is it through the phone? Is it through email? Is it okay to contact you through social media like Facebook? For me, I have two separate email accounts. I've got my work email account and my personal email account. If somebody tries to contact me through my personal email account to talk about work, I politely say, hey, send this to my other email account. That way they know how to best contact me. Additionally, I don't answer emails all day. If somebody emails me in the middle of the night, I'm not going to respond right then, because I know if I do, they're going to expect me to respond right then all the time. Instead, I set up a certain time of day that I answer all of my emails, usually before I start work and right at the end of work, and then I don't touch them until the next day. So, do you work well with others? Do you communicate well with others? Think about this topic as you read through the next couple of chapters for this week.